How's it going out there? This is Feed Your Mind, and in today's video we're going to discuss the real reason why the pyramids were made and how. And so over the years there's been lots of research about these pyramids, and I've come across some of the most fascinating information about the pyramids. So I'll explain to you how to find more information later on in this video. So to get started, basically there's this program where the host came across a pretty rare piece of documentary work about the pyramids, and in this information he obtained information about how the pyramids were constructed through with the help of remote viewers. So basically the information is coming from a researcher who selected the best remote viewers he could find to help figure out secrets about the pyramids. And so their abilities to remote view, I guess, come from this belief that you can tap into this time type of through your mind, and it breaks like all barriers of time, and you can just really tap into this thing beyond us, where if this whole world is one thing, they're saying they can tap into this one thing and gain information and viewing and knowledge through this field. So in this program, they discovered that the pyramids were built with the help of, it sounds like, the fallen ones, basically. And so this might have been a time, it sounds like, before the flood. And so at this time was a lot of things going on before the times of Noah on this earth, where it was a much different place. And so and then the people who occupy Egypt now, where the pyramids are, might not even be the actual people who built the pyramid. Like, so according to this research, it sounds like the pyramids were like much older than the people who occupy the land now. So I don't know if the people who occupy the land are trying to take credit for the pyramids or not, but it seems like they're just there now. They just occupy that land. They had nothing really to do with the building of the pyramids, because the pyramids were much more ancient. And so the issues come with where people are saying these pyramids are so fascinating is because I guess there's some very large slabs of stone that seemed impossible to move out into the middle of the desert like that. So these stones that were used towards, the base of the pyramid would have been just nearly impossible to move. So everybody's trying to figure out, how did they do that? How did they move these huge stone pieces that are just massive, like the size, some of these stone pieces might be the size of a building, literally like a one stone piece. So I'm not sure like the dimensions of these stone pieces they're talking about, but they sound pretty massive. So people are wondering, like, how did they move those stones? And so it turns out, well, in the movie, the X-Men Apocalypse movie, they kind of showed you some secrets, I believe, because what was described in this information that I came across it sounded a lot real similar to this X-Men Apocalypse movie, where they were building pyramids with their mind. Like, they were able to move stones, and the stones would float into place. Like, It's almost as if the pyramid are in the movie. It's almost as if the pyramids were constructed even without really the help of hands, like made without hands. The stones were able to fly into place and levitate and move into place. And so what was described in this information I came across was similar, where they're saying there was masters, some were humanoid, like sorcerers and stuff, all involved in this project. And so they were able to levitate stones, even these large ones that would seem impossible to move. They were able to levitate the stones, and the helpers and builders, you know, they would have a bunch of like clone-like people, just kind of like hypnotized people, it seemed like, helping in the construction of this pyramid. And so the masters and the sorcerers that were sometimes described as otherworldly beings in humanoid form, so these beings would help, you know, levitate these stones and assemble these stones, and they were able to almost like generate these stones. What was sometimes described as high technology, but also there was times these technologies were described as supernatural abilities that were being demonstrated. So they were able to form these stones and move them into place with the assistance of like brainwash helpers. So it's not clear if all these helpers were humans, or if they were some type of, or if this was some type of a whole bunch of the abominations before the flood. Like there was a bunch of humanoid type beings walking this earth around that time. So it's not clear if this whole pyramid was constructed with the help of these humanoids, or if actual humans helped as well. Probably both. It seemed like a massive project that involved both human labor and supernatural help and high technology, advanced high technology. And so they were building this pyramid and assembling it with these abilities and this high technology. And the reason why they were doing this was very ritualistic. There was talks of a lot of rituals that were taking place, almost like, you know, what was described where the Aztecs were, and they also, you can also see demonstrations of these rituals in the movie. I think it was Apocalypto. And that's interesting because the X-Men movie was called the Apocalypse movie. So another clue was the Apocalypto movie made by Mel Gibson, where they had the Aztec pyramids and they were doing a lot of rituals that, you know, we don't really have to get into the details, because it gets pretty let's say visually restrictive to describe what was going on with these rituals in Apocalypto. But you can get the idea if you saw the movie, or if you know what they were actually doing at the Aztec pyramids. It involved, I believe we can say the word, let's say sacrifices. I don't want to say too many words right now, but you get the point. It involved a lot of ritualistic behavior at these pyramids. So these remote viewers were said that with the Egyptian pyramids, it was the same thing. It involved a lot of practices like that going on. And so basically the reason why they were constructed had to do with, they're saying, the energy fields of this earth, where they call these energy fields the ley lines of the earth, and we might get into that in another video, so stay tuned for that. But basically they were constructed, these pyramids were constructed in specific areas that had to correspond with, some say, with the belt of Orion in the sky. So if you've done research with me, we started to realize that the stars are within this firmament. They're not as far as the scientists say. So the ancients had this knowledge that these stars, they were able to understand that there's some type of connection with these stars and Earth, and some type of energy grids on this Earth. So the stars might correspond with ley lines on the Earth, and so these pyramids were built in specific areas, and rituals were performed, and energy was being conducted, and these pyramids might have been connected with other areas on this Earth where other monuments were constructed as well, and they might all kind of function together. And they're saying the pyramids there was a lot of mining going on, an intense mining. Like there could be a whole underworld connected with these pyramids, even down to the depths of, some say, Sheol, or like some are saying that underneath these pyramids is very intricate as well. It's not just what's above. They even might say that some of the pyramids might reach to the depths of Sheol or something. So, or the gate to the underworld. So it was the work that was put into these structures is not just above ground, it's also underground, which even adds more to the mysteries and why people say this is just a extraordinary and almost beyond the abilities of what they would think people could do when these pyramids were constructed. So so they're basically built to, they're saying, to like communicate with other a spiritual realm that exists here on Earth, but in another frequency. And so they're able to, these pyramids were said to help with the beings that were here, and it was all very purpose driven in order to, it sounds like their ceremonies were not just worshipful ceremonies. They're actual ceremonies in order to achieve certain goals, and actually like have abilities and knowledge, and gain knowledge and gain power. And they're able to, like, I think, sleep in certain chambers and increase their longevity, maybe, their lifespans. And I mean, they were able to use this pyramid for certain and specific powers. They're talking about communicating, with the and being able to govern this world from multiple realities of dimension. Like, these pyramids might transcend just our physical realm, and they might be able to, these pyramids might exist in these other realms as well, these other frequencies. There might be like dozens of frequencies around us all the time where we can't see or interact with. But it's kind of like how I said with the dream realm, where it's a realm while you're sleeping that you can interact with, that you can only interact with in your dream state of mind. So, and that concept goes beyond if your dream is just contained within your mind, or if it's your soul experiencing a realm, which is a discussion we've had before. You can check out my dream playlist for more information on that. But so basically, if there's realms around us, and so these pyramids might have been built to help interact with these realms and govern all these realms. And it sounds like it was pretty much the fallen ones that were involved in these pyramids. But there is talks, like, now this is just one side of this is just a concept I'm sharing with you now. There is some talks that the pyramids might not be for the evil ones, and the wicked ones. But some say these pyramids were built the opposite for. I've even heard some talks that they could have been built for the Most High, like some of these pyramids. So I don't know. I mean, we don't know all the answers, and what this hypothesis, if this hypothesis is accurate or not. But it's a very in-depth information. It's about a 2-hour long broadcast. So I got this information from this broadcast, and I'll share it with you. So I'll leave a link to the podcast in the comment section and the description box, so you can check out the full 2-hour program. It's a very in-depth program, and it covers a lot of ground about these pyramids, like more information than I've come across in a long time about these pyramids. It's a lot of detail. It's almost like a must listen. So if you got, so I definitely recommend you check out this link and check out the full program about these pyramids. It goes into depth, and it's very enlightening. But let me know what you guys think about this information. I pretty much summarized the 2-hour program in this video. So if you don't got the time to listen to the full 2-hour program, within the link, through that link I leave, at least you heard this brief summary about the program and what it covers. So, but either way, let me know your thoughts about all this information. All links will be in the comment section and the description box if you want to do full research on this subject. I'll also leave links to my other channels and my social media in a link if you want to donate to the channel. I'd appreciate it. You can donate as little as $1 to help keep things going here at Feed Your Mind. Thank you for your support. This has been Feed Your Mind, signing off.